Manchester United takeover saga is a never-ending, exhausting story. I know what you're thinking. We are 18 months into the overall sales process, have no path for clear ownership structure. As what we've been told, Sir Jim Ratcliffe or Trawlers Limited, it's not Ineos as what media headlines is reporting, as the 25% of that minority proposals is Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been put forward as the preferred option. We spotted Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Dale Brailsworth observing the games from the Manchester United stands away in a home game. They've been also speaking to staff at Carrington and Mayfair, telling them this is our plan. We're also hearing what they might do with Old Trafford in terms of development and who the potential director of football and sporting director might be, reporting by the mainstream media. But one thing that is set in stone and a pure fact, and this is what we are talking to you right here now, it is the appointment of the CEO, Omar Berrada. The rest is kind of a little bit of grey zone, a little bit murky, and the question is, where are we at? What has been going on? So why is the SAC and Premier League ratification of Sir Jim Ratcliffe approval pending at this moment? Why is it delayed? And today we read the headlines from the Independent with an article coming out to say Sir Jim Ratcliffe gets his Premier League approval to buy Manchester United 25%, but waiting for the Football Association's approval. Valid question that we have to discuss. That has been reported in the mainstream media. We're also going to look at the alternative media, what they're saying, just to give you a little bit of a balanced approach and create a foster a fan discussion. That is what MUFC Realist TV is all about. At the end of the day, we are not the news. We don't create the news. We analyze what's been put out there, and what we are discussing here, it is up to you how you interpret it and observe. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to MUFC Realist TV. Mick Ruby here with another stream, with another video. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that like button right here, right now, and please do not hesitate to super chat your questions in or participate in the legendary VER room. So, are you ready? Let's do this.
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Dankjewel. I feel welcome. Dit is mijn home and I want to achieve success.
Good afternoon, people. Mick Ruby back here again. Guys, how you doing? It's been 18 months and we are coming to a closure as per diluted in this opening statement. It's been 18 months of not really having a clear path. And today we've seen from Sky News and from Premier League statement that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid is kind of been approved, but still waiting for the FA Association's approval. A little bit murky, a little bit confused. As per yesterday, we saw that 100%, if I add this to the stage, was saying from no other than Mike Keegan, approval from Premier League is kind of pending, approximately not this week, next week after, the week after, as per usual, guys. So I want to sort of have a debate regarding this, because today what we saw was a statement from the Premier League and Sky News saying no other than like this, Sky News. And I have to sort of unmute this to display. So anyway, before we continue, how are you doing? Let me know in the chat. I started a poll as well. Are you happy with this deal? Are you not happy with this deal? So get into the poll as well. Let's do this as well. Let's add this to the stage and play. Right. So I hope you can all hear this voice.
Okay, we have some huge breaking news to bring you on Sky Sports News. The Premier League have approved Jim Ratcliffe's proposed bid to buy a minority stake in Manchester United. That's been just announced by the club. In a filing to the Securities and Exchange Commission on Monday, United said it had already been granted approval under its rules over who is allowed to be an owner or director of a soccer club.
So here's Sky News coming out saying it's been approved by Monday. But yesterday we saw Ben Jacobs tweeting as well that Manchester United confirmed that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has a deadline extended to midnight on February 17. The original deadline was midnight February 14th. This is tomorrow, to allow completion of the Class A shareholder tenders. Is that two separate things? Let's continue to Sky News. There's a lot of questions we need to ask here as well.
It's also said it expected clearance from the Football Association as the British billionaire Ratcliffe closes in on completion of his deal to buy 25% of the club. He agreed a deal to buy a stake in United in December, and on Monday, the deadline for completion was extended from February the 14th to February the 17th. As part of the deal, Ratcliffe's Ineos sports division will take control over United's soccer operation after more than a decade since it won the Premier League title and consistent decline in its on-field performance as well. The 71-year-old Ratcliffe was a boyhood United fan and last month described his proposed investment as the most exciting deal.
Of course, it's an exciting deal. It's a vanity project. But at the end of the day, we got to go to the Premier League, as well statement to confirm this, because that's what we have to do, right? So Premier League has come out with a statement to say that Sir Jim Ratcliffe acquisition 25% of Manchester United PLC or FC here, and furthermore investment of 300 million into the club has been approved by the Premier League board following the completion of the owners and directors test, OADT. The board agreed to the change of the club's ownership structure last week, and this is now been officially ratified by an independent oversight panel. So I'm a little bit conflicted. Here you have tweets from Jacobs. Here you have tweets regarding, Mike Keegan to say not today, not next week, most likely. And then this rushed all of a sudden come in the day after today with the Premier League, right? We have to pose a question. Why has it been so rushed all of a sudden when the credible journalists like, Keegan, Jacobs is saying another thing? I want to add to the stage, I have Andy Tate waiting in the back room. Andy, very good afternoon to you, sir. How are you doing, Andy?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm confused as hell.
Yeah, I can understand that. And let's say this is what Sky do. This is what Sky do best. They try to reel you in and clickbait. This is just clickbait stuff. And like I say, until you get the rubber stamp, I won't believe any of it.
Yeah,
I do believe it's on. I do believe it'll happen. But Sky, like I say, Sky nowadays, even when they're football commentators, they're reporting, it's gone down the toilet. It really has.
True.
I don't take nothing from them seriously at all now. So,
listen, Andy, I cannot lie, to be honest, guys. I have a confession to make here. We have technical problems with the chat. I cannot see you chat here, even if you super chat or anything. I can only see comments in StreamYard here coming from X or Twitter. So I'm reading everything that you're saying here manually. So big up for everyone that comes in. I created a poll. But Andy, I cannot lie, to be honest. I got to put my hand up to say I deliberately, for mental health, took a step back to analyze everything, right? It's been relentless over 12 months, 18 months. And for your own mental sanity, you just want to have a resolution, right? And honest to God, am I happy with this 25%? No, I'm not. Am I happy that we potentially getting a football structure? Yes, I am. Is this the right direction? Yeah, we need to know. We need to know more information. Omar Barada, the right appointment, 100%. But what I'm not happy about, Andy, is the Glazers are still in town. That's the only thing that I'm not happy with. I'm dying to understand, will this be a clear ownership path in the future? The reason per se is, you got to be critical and you got to, I'm not being poking on the details, but they are promoting like it's Ineos. Well, it's not Ineos, Andy. It's Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Trawlers Limited, that's on the purchase agreement. And that is his own personal fund. And the reason per se as well, the Premier League and FA Association, what they have to do is to look at his fundings, the proof of funds. Apparently there was reports saying that he's only have in this Trawlers Limited 4 billion in liquidity, like a liquid cash. That means, stocks, gold, bonds, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But what I don't get is yesterday's reports coming out that, there might be some legal ramifications with the share class A holders, what Ben Jacobs was saying, that Mike Keegan was saying, like, no, not this week, potentially within 2 weeks. And all of a sudden today, boom, you even get a Premier League statement. I just feel it's like a little bit of a dodgy business going on, Andy. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's,
you have every right to be skeptical. We all have every right to be skeptical because the way this club has been run into the ground the last 10 years, it's that there is a lack of trust between the fans and the club. And this is the way it is at the moment. Me and you, we all know what we wanted. We wanted Qatar, but we're here now. We're at this point, a moment in time. And like I say, I do not believe the media when they say one thing and say another. The Premier League coming out with this, Ben Jacobs coming out with that. It's like everybody wants to get one over each other. They want to be the head guy to break this breaking story. And let's say, mate, from a mental health point of view, because I take a seat back now from the performances since Christmas. I have a comfort zone. I have a buffer zone now.
Yeah, thick skin.
This team will not get me down no matter what. I'll cheer him. I'll applaud him, or I'll be critical of him. But this team will not get me down because I've got other things going on in my life that are more important to me.
Yeah, no, that's most important.
This team, this club will not destroy me the way it has been destroyed by these owners over the last 10 years.
Well, Andy, I hear you, and I feel exactly the same. Like, came New Year, I felt broken. I felt like, I openly said, like, I don't love this team anymore. I don't love this club anymore until we get some answers, right? And, lo and behold, we're starting to perform on the pitch. Oh well, positive
only
vibes is back.
Because of certain people upstairs are watching. Big Brother's watching the players now. So play out your skin. Play out your skin like you've never played out your skin before.
Yeah. It's just Premier League approval, but I just don't understand what is this with FA approval as well. And we're going to look at the alternative media as well, what other people are saying. We've got to have a balanced approach, like, as what you said, like, we've been led to this garden path, like, full sale only. We saw Qatar, we saw Sir Jim Ratcliffe, we see in the headlines about Ineos, but I just going to put a rubber stamp on it to say it's not Ineos. It's why Ineos getting the credit here. Actually, Ineos is not the one that is seeking the 25%. It is actually Trawlers. And why is it so, Andy? Because at the end of the day, Ineos owns, Nice as a sporting club. So there might be a clever move to go, to Ratcliffe Personal Fund, Trawlers Limited, registered in the Cayman Island. Because at the end of the day, if Nice makes Champions League and United makes Champions League, there's an owner's, what do you call it? A conflict of ownership.
Yeah.
And
Same
interest.
thing will happen with Girona or Manchester City if they get in the Champions League. So that problem needs to be cleared up and explained to everybody before the season ends.
Yeah, 100%.
Will Nice take our place? I don't know. Will we go into another competition because Nice have taken that Champions League place? Or do we go into the Europa League because of that? Or do we not allowed in Europe altogether?
Big questions. 100%. I don't know, to be honest. And but however, if this gets fully approved, it's not Ineos, it's Trawlers Limited, Trawlers, right? Which is Sir Jim Ratcliffe's personal fund, investment
fund. Did he
fund.
name that after Eric Cantona?
Probably. Probably.
And the seagulls that swam around it.
Yeah. Now, a plausible cause is the path to full ownership is that, they can now acquire more Class B shares, right, on $33 per share, according to the agreement. And potentially Sir Jim Ratcliffe can invite his business partners, buddies in Ineos. And by that time, they probably had to sell off Nice as well. So there's a lot of questions we fan has to ask. You know what I mean? But it is what it is at the moment, right? It is what it is. Now, I haven't seen anything from the club statement whatsoever, but this is coming out today from a Premier League statement that the Premier League has approved. And if we heard Sky News, if we've seen articles from the Independent, the same thing, right? They're saying the same thing. They're waiting for the FA, Football Association's approval as well. Now, I'm just wondering, like, why has it all of a sudden been rushed? Big question mark. Yesterday was uncertain, and today all of a sudden, boom, approved.
Yeah, they say you cannot believe or trust anything. Has it been rushed? Has it been delayed? Like you say, we've been spun this so many times now, delay after delay after delay. As I would say, technicalities after technicalities, and it's going to get rubber stamped for 25%. So you cannot believe anything anymore, mate, until it's a press release from the club, or Jim comes out with a video and says something that's recorded.
Yeah, true.
Addressing the Man United fans.
Yeah, guys, I cannot shout you out here. There's something wrong with StreamYard. I don't see your comments, only from X, but I can still give big shout outs to Jamie Wayne is here, Edward Reed is here, Robs is here as well, Sanjay Ramatar is here, Jolim Almin is per usual. What else do we see here? I see the manual chat going like madness. Glazers out, Glazers. I can agree 100%. Listen, I do apologize. It happens sometimes. We have some technical glitches with StreamYard. Gremlins. But for me personally, you know, we are not the news. We just react on the news as a fans. We have our opinions. Some people were appealing to the full ownership, 100% no debt free. Now it is what it is, like, and why it's been rushed? Big question marks, right? Never saw a statement from the SEC like to say that this has been approved. I know 10 days ago there was voting for Class B shares not to be converted to Class A shares. There was no reporting regarding that, and all of a sudden, boom, hits us with a surprise. From an alternative perspective, though, we know that Joel and Avram are kind of broke. You know, in the background, we've been seeing stories that they have, rushed this deal through because they're hitting the brick wall with their personal finances, right? And, during the Christmas when everyone, if we go back in timeline, everyone was kind of preparing and joining for Christmas, and Christmas Eve, boom, all of a sudden this came out to say, yep, this has been approved. But on the backhand, we heard that, Sir Jim Ratcliffe was kind of pushing, like, take it or leave it. He probably knew that their financial situation was kind of a little bit of a dire straits. So at that time, we thought we looked like it. We smell a little bit like a rat, like it's a personal loan. I give you a little bit of cash for a couple of Class A and Class B shares and 2 voting seats and potentially get some football operations. And then we've seen snippets over the time that what are we going to do with Old Trafford? Are we going to knock it down? Are we going to redevelop it? There's a lot of question marks that made us fans a little bit suspicious. I can personally give kudos for them coming out to speak to the staff and to the fans, because no single Glazer has ever come out to the stadium or showing the respect for the 1958 memorial.
Mick, they've never really they've spoken to fan groups. They've never spoken to the fan on the street. They've never spoken to fan channels. They've just spoken to individuals within the club and who are well within the door and do this, that, and the other to suit their agenda. They never approached a fan on the street. They never emailed season ticket holders asking, invite season ticket holders to attend a meeting with Jim Ratcliffe. That would go down a treat, but it won't happen.
Yeah, maybe we should put in a suggestion for Sir Jim. Speak to the proper fans.
Interview the season ticket holders.
Yeah. But, mate, listen, I want to ask you a question. Manchester United Supporter Trust, MUST. Do they really represent the entire global fan base, or are they just self-entitled?
I think they represent the UK fan base. I mean, the world fan base. That's a big statement. I think they do represent, and they do well, but they represent the UK Manchester United fan base. Maybe Ireland as well. Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland. Maybe a bit of Scandinavia, but I won't say they represent the entire global fan base for Manchester United. No.
I mean, the sensible thing as a United fan, I mean, I know it's impossible, and the global fan base is over 5 million strong, right? It's not only UK and Ireland and match-going ticket holders. Like, not everyone is privileged to go to the games, but you have diehard fans that live in Australia, that live in US, that wake up 5 a.m. in the morning, diehard to watch the game. You have massive fan base in India. We saw Ole Gunnar Solskjaer were there to speaking to them in Mumbai, doing the tour. It's just so global, right? And all we want is to play, to get back on winning ways. That's all we ever wanted. And you are a match-going fan. You know exactly how it is. I'm not privileged. I'm sitting in Thailand, but I can feel your pain, man. Every time you go on the paddock doing a post-match reaction show, I feel your pain, brother. I do. Win, lose, draw. We are bleeding for this club. This is family to us, right?
Yeah, and the fact is, certain elements within that club still don't class us as family, yet we class that club as family. They just class us as customers. And customers are the heart and soul of any business organization. Big up, Tom, for coming in. I have 3 comments from Twitter X for you tuning in. We have problems with YouTube not showing the chats. Jordan Wall is giving you big up, smiley, happy faces. Man, I do apologize. I was really looking forward for this stream, and YouTube destroyed it, to be honest. Now, from an independent media, right, we got to sort of talk a balanced approach, right? Because if you go back in time, right, it was a little bit of, how do I say, defiling to the SEC, right? The dodgy kind of rush through, to get Sir Jim Ratcliffe his money to the Glazers was rushed through, right? And defied a Premier League filing report to say that, Sheikh Jassim his bid was never meeting the evaluation, XYZ. You remember this story, right? Oh yeah, I do. It's absolute. You say it was carnage throughout all the media. Who do you believe? Who do you don't believe? Everybody thinks they know everything or something. So yeah, misleading. Yeah. The club messed. I would say that the club put this out to mislead the fans so the Glazers could get their money in quick.
Yeah,
because they were. If the rumors are true, they were flat broke, and the club is, only got 70 million in the bank. So
would you say, Andy, from a fan perspective, is basically create this positive PR to get on board with the gravy train?
Yeah. Divert the blame and, like I say, look at this, look at that, look at this. Yeah, the PR, the positive PR machine, man, is, like I say, it's been in overdrive since Christmas Eve, since it was announced. So they'll do this, like I say, if we lose another league game in the league, if we just let's just say we lose the Manchester derby in 3 weeks' time, and we lose quite convincingly, because we all know it's in this team to do it, despite the good form we're in. Monday morning, everybody's fuming, angry. Divert. Look at this story. Jim Ratcliffe will come out and say something, blah, divert. And everybody will, like I say, will go in on the team, going on Ten Hag and all that. It is about diverted tactics. It's about buying time.
Yeah.
That's
or another word, divide and conquer.
I don't want it to be like that because I want to win a Manchester derby. But like you say, like our channel, I'm a realist at the moment. And I know what to expect with this team. And the way I feel on a match day, like you say, it can make your weekend or break your weekend.
But it's kind of emotional blackmail. Like, if you control the information flow, you control the hearts and mind of people. That's what you say. You want to, spin a positive story. It's called divide and conquer at the end of the day, right?
Oh yeah, if you're strong enough, you can detach yourself from the club. You can do that. People can do that. But if for some people, this club is everything to them. It really is. I mean, the people who work there and, like say, who stayed there, Kathy on reception, she's been there for ages. And like I say, she lives and breathes Man United on reception at Kennington or at the ground. So it's all about positivity. So it will affect people, like I say, from a financial point of view, mental health point of view. It, like you say, if you look at the cutbacks, the people are going to get P45s and moved on, chop change, restructured, moved out, shipped in. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes we can't comprehend. But if they're looking out, they see how we're feeling. They don't get them people at this moment in time, upstairs, are only concerned with their paychecks and the money. Our emotions are irrelevant to what's going on inside that club at the moment.
Andy, you know what this kind of resembles the current situation is the current world governments. They are in elite from themselves. They don't care what the little people think.
Yeah. Like you say,
nobody really knows
care,
what's going on.
And believe me, no elite organisation gives a toss about the customer or the fans or the people.
Yeah,
it's all for themselves. It's a sad fact of life.
Yeah, it is, Sandy. Guys, if you want to have, display your live chat, I know you're watching on YouTube. We do have a technical problem with the YouTube chat here on StreamYard. Please, if you send some super chats, members, we cannot display it here live on the screen. If you do want to have your voices and chats displayed, open up Twitter X and tune in as well and post your comment here so we can post it out as well. Until then, we're operating in the blind. But we got to boldly go when nobody else dares to go, Andy, as well, because this is MUFC Realist TV, Andy. At the end of the day, it was reported on the 19th of January that Sheikh Jassim was seeking legal advice against Glazer after misleading funds claims, right? And this goes back to that rushing thing, like, what we saw in Christmas. They were rushing through to get this deal. As what we said, Joe Glazer has some personal financial problems himself. Same with Avram, same with everyone else. And it's like, we need a quick loan, and nobody wanted to give them the money. So I always think that Full Sail was on, to be honest, because if you look at the balance scorecard sheet at the club finances, we are broke. We are stint. You know what I mean? We flipped it. It's like you flip the piggy bank and there's nothing in it, right? The transfer market, the only way we can sort of operate in the future is to sell a lot and optimize the overall, structure.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of only fills and arses in January, in the last few weeks of January, set like Del Boy would do, wheeling and dealing, just selling and raking the money in and not investing in anything else. Yeah. So it's all lovely jubbly for the people upstairs, but who's the plonkers? The fans, because we've got nothing to be happy about.
Yeah. But anyway, there were some rumblings also in the alternative media that Premier League received letters, including SAC, like the SEC, from Sheikh Jassim's representatives and the US Secutiritis, that the Glazers have broken the law in the sales process. And share prices, lo and behold, it went up to almost $22. Yesterday, we went down to 19. So also, there were some reports saying that investigation from US Secutiritis found evidence that the Glazer family misled the shareholders and paid dodgy lawyers millions from an account which traced from Canary Islands. And this is what we're saying, this doesn't really get picked up in the mainstream media, but you can read it sort of through Twitter, through, independent media. And at the end of the day, this is a billionaire squid game. We don't really know what the hell is going on, right? We shouldn't really care. We want to just watch football. We want to be consumers of the game.
Yeah, so they've manipulated the market to get some couple of million in. And that is by fraud. I can't pronounce it. Fraud. Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, at Realist TV, we don't shy away from speaking about certain things, for sure. But, we always have to have a balanced approach, looking at two sides of the story, right? I cannot lie, Andy. I was personally attracted to the Qatar bid. I think majority of the people was, because what it offered. We saw two manifestos, Andy. One was saying, put Manchester back into Manchester United. Everyone was, what? What is that? And then we saw Sheikh Jassim's bid. And the media speculations and the, what do you call it, the smear campaigning going against greenwashing, state washing. It was a shambles, right? And the overall overarching thing was information war, right? Again, coming back to what we say, if you control the minds of hearts of people to get them on board, you are the winner, right? And slowly, like, people that were on the 100% Glazers out, been protesting, was saying, well, I give up. I take this. Yeah, 100%. Including myself. I was going, I can't be asked anymore. I can't be asked anymore. Just get on with it. Just want to watch football. And this is what it does to you, right? This is, if you read social media and if you read the headlines, it will get to you at the end of the day. And I put my hand up. I got affected. I got a knockout, right? But again, it comes down to the question, am I happy with this 25% or potentially 29 or 30%? I take a deep breath to say, I'm not too giddy, but it's the kind of step towards the right direction, if what they're saying.
Yeah, there's something in the cupboard to eat. There's something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something in the cupboard and you're looking at it, and whether we can reach it to get it is another thing. But we're just been feeding scraps. That's all it is. Time will tell, Mick. Time will tell.
Yeah, it's like Pink Floyd's song, time will tell if it's heaven or hell, blue skies or pain. Oh, I wish you were here. You know that song?
No, the only one I know is like the fans out. All I know is you're just another brick in the wall.
Another prick in the wall.
Yeah, that's how I feel. We're just another brick in the wall. The fans, that's all we are.
No, but honest to God, like, if you had asked me the same question 2 years ago, I would snap your hand for it. I said, yeah. As long as we are competing, right? We are Manchester United. We have high standards. Like, where we've been for the past 8 years is mind-boggling, right? But if I would take it right now, 25%, 28%, with the promises to say that, hey, we need to fix the structure. That means that we have a proper factual. This is the only fact that we can lean on, that we have Omar Barada, the CEO from Man City, right? The chief operating officer joining, no matter what. And then who's going to be the footballing director? The director of football. Who's going to be the, technical director? Again, nobody really knows, because we were not even, this Omar Barada story came with an uppercut. Not even media had a sniff.
Yeah.
So therefore, I believe like Dan Ashworth and this Michael Edwards, this Paul Mitchell, it's just media link speculations. But at the end of the day, I think that Omar Barada has his own personal black book.
Yeah, he's got he's got his own team ready to go. Could you?
Right.
Ineos have asked him, could you recommend anybody? Is there anybody else that could? Have you got friends, or do you know people? Have you got contacts? That could benefit us? So that's possible. That's possible.
Yeah. Listen, we have a caller coming in here. Our brother from another mother from another channel. He used to be football economics. We're talking about Bilal Jogi. How you doing, Bilal?
Hi guys, how you doing?
Not too shabby. Confused.com. How about you?
Yeah, not bad. Thank you. Not bad. Nice to meet you, everyone. And a lot of news breaking all the time, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I would almost say breaking with farts. Like, from yesterday, we saw from Ben Jacobs, not today, not tomorrow, extension. We saw Mike Keegan saying the same thing, probably within 2 weeks. And all of a sudden today, boom, Premier League comes up with a statement that they have approved since Monday. What's your take on it, Bilal? Like, do you feel it's a little bit of a dodgy business going on here? The brown paper envelope.
I think we're all Manchester United fans, and as you know, it's one of the most scrutinized clubs out there, especially when it comes to news being put out there constantly. I think our good friend Mick yesterday, Paul, kind of found the SEC listing, he broke it first, and he's just a normal guy like us, and he managed to find the SEC listing which said that the Premier League had approved it. The problem with this whole process is that the journalists that have been reporting this constantly have reported it like a transfer, and they've not been very well sourced. hence why they're putting out a very broad deadlines. Like Mike Keegan, I think it was Mike Keegan that said it won't be this week, it might be next week, or it might be the week after. It was very, very broad, and it's not very well sourced. From what I've read and what I've seen of it, it looks like it'll be done by Friday. I can't see it being stopped now, really. And like I've said to you for months, Mick, on my own show, that this was going to go through no matter what. I couldn't see it being stopped, and it's just a shame that it divides the fan base so much with the way it's reported, and people put out opinions. But to answer the question simply, a lot of the football journalists are not very well informed on this, and if they just spend a bit of time trying to source it properly, they'll actually understand the process.
True. Yeah. It's a cracking point, that, because the last year or so, 18 months, they've been just spinning pure BS. just to try and get the flip on one another. And look at me, I've got an exclusive. No, you haven't. I have. So
and the thing is with it, because it's a purchase of a company, and the structure is so. Most people are not informed on how it actually works. What's trigger point 1, trigger point 2? What happens here? How long does the filing take? And because it's Manchester United and somebody needs to put on news all the time, it's not very well informed, and it's not very well put out.
In a way, yes. Just take a memory lane as a fan, go back in your memory bank and remember, not this week, next week, Monday, the next year, XYZ. They was treating this who's leading the race. It's like it was a Formula One race. All of a sudden, dead out of the water, sensational words. And as a fan, like, you just kind of felt a little bit like, like an angry enemy, like this. And honest to God, a little bit of a human, but I felt bonkers at the end of the day, like confused, like, you've been spun more than Anthony Dos Santos on a ball. You know what I mean? The spinster.
Yeah, but Mick, we're living in a day and age, I know, and Andy can relate to this as well, where we're from a time where football was different. We consumed it differently. Now, like this news that's just come out with Ratcliffe in the last hour or two, it's already old news. People want the next bit now. Who's the director of football? Who's the technical director? Once that's in, that's all news, right? Who's the first signing? When the stadium? It's just constant. And people want, right, we've got our quick fix. What's the next one?
We got information on a Friday or a Thursday before a game.
Yeah.
It was nothing there every day. You have your Thursday or Friday information, and on a Saturday as well. That was it. Now it's constant every minute, every second of every day. And it's like, well, do you mind not hanging back? You know what I mean? Like,
everything's over scrutinized. This guy's got this injury. He's out. He's in. It's just constant.
This is why I don't even bother I don't even watch Sky anymore, because it's in your face every second of every day. And I just, you know what? I'll switch on. I'll have 10, 15 minutes in the morning watching the various channels to get some information, and I switch off for the rest of the day and go out on my own day. I'm getting Google updates every 5 minutes on my phone. I'm not interested.
No,
it's kind of stupid.
But you know what? This has created this behavior of normal human beings that constantly getting notifications. Even I constantly checking one football app, constantly checking Twitter, constant. And it's like, my wife is looking at me because she's not such a social media guy. It's like, who are you? I was like, I don't know what I've become. And now we're going to wear these VR glasses as well. Apple Vision's.
I'm waiting for the new Man United pie deal to get announced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Man United with Holland's pies exclusive. You know what I mean? Get your hot pies at Old Trafford next season. You know what I mean? The Old Trafford special with extra Mufc sauce. So
I think, yeah, Andy's right there. Old school deals that keep it real. I think it's to keep it. I think it's at the end. It's more or less a few days away now. Really, they weren't going to give him he's already him and his team are already in there. They're doing things. They weren't going to do that if they weren't pretty sure it's going to happen. I can't see it being stopped now, and I think it is what it is.
Well, all I wanted to do, to be honest to God, guys, as a fan, sitting right here, I'm almost quoting this pretty woman. I'm just a girl in front of a man begging you to love me. You remember this quote? So all I wanted to do as a fan from right here, right now, is get back to the winning ways. You know, I want Manchester United to win trophies, 100%, right? That's all I care about. Am I happy that Glazers is still in the background? Hell no, you know? Until they're gone, I will not rest. But I want us to sort of at least compete for the rest of the season. Come summer, understand really what they're offering, you know, in titles, because once they get the formal approvals, I would do expect, like, you know, for them to come out to speak to the normal fans like us. You know, here's a vision, here's a plan.
No,
you reckon they won't?
No, it'll be all cloak and daggers and watered down. It'll be so watered down, it will be water. So, you know what I mean? It's like when you water down, you ask for a beer, it'll be so watered down, it will taste bitter.
Yeah. Big up, people. I can read your chat manually. I cannot. The chat's not coming in here in StreamYard for some reason, so we cannot display. If you do donate a super chat or whatever you call membership, I cannot display you. So, guys, I do apologize. I see Angie's here, or one of our moderators. Big up, Angie. Please take care of the chat for us. Help us. There are 61 likes at the moment. Please get this up to 100 likes, please. I did create a poll, by the way, before we started the stream, and the poll was, as a fan, do you accept this deal? I want to hear from Andy first.
I've stated my claim. If it's okay for the other half of Manchester, why wasn't it okay for us? You know what I mean? So that's where I stand on it. Oh, if you want your shiny new toys, you want your brand new this, that, and the other, I want everything I want all the action figures I can get. You know what I mean? I wanted Qatar, and that's what I wanted. But we've got this with Ineos now, and it's like, oh, you want that? No, you can't have it. Do you want this? No, you can't have it. You've got to work for it and earn it. So if it's okay for one, why isn't it okay for us?
No, I also wanted Qatar. I cannot lie. I wanted Qatar for the simple reason what they offered, like, you know, debt free, brand new stadium or wherever, refurbish, invest in the women's team, new training ground, the latest and greatest, XYZ. And here we are with 25-30%. And we got to raise funds even to build Old Trafford or the new Old Trafford or whatever. So I go back to you, Bilal. Are you happy with this? If this comes true, you're on mute. He's on mute. He's on mute. Can somebody get a sign specialist? Did you tap the? He's on mute. Hey, you have a button up here. Maybe you touched.
There you go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you have a HyperX. That's why I know you touched the button.
I was like you guys as well. I was all for Qatar. I thought it was a great opportunity, you know, to move forward. I think the way this current deal is, if it stays as it is, I'm not for it at 25 or 29%. I think if over the next 18 months, if he can't get to a point of major ownership and to a point of buying out the rest of them, or even taking them to a minority, I'm all for that. But in its current form, if it stays at 29%, which it will be by the end of the year, I'm not for it to stay at 29%. I think the Glazers need to go.
I'm going to look at the poll. There's 66 votes so far. And the VR Roomsters in here has voted 50%. It's 50-50, to be honest, right now. I'm not closing the poll as of yet, but right now it's 50-50. Yes is 50, but I want to know more, which is the right answer, I think. Like, you know, I'm kind of half sold in, but I want to know more. What is your vision? What is your plan? What's the direction? You know, what about the debt? What about XYZ? What about the training ground?
Mick, it can't get any worse than what it is, right?
No,
as fans, it cannot. If he fucking can't get any worse than what it was, right? We've got to fit. If he comes out, he communicates clearly, makes the right appointments, makes the right type of signings. It's the fucking right move, isn't it, into the right direction?
It is the fucking right
somewhere,
move.
right?
If he goes the way of the Glazers, does not communicate, just done a few little bits because I'm coming in, then hides in the shadows, always in the shadows, never coming out, only coming out when it suits them, then it's going to be the same. like you say. But yeah, this is like you say. I don't think he will do that because I know I would say the club are aware they have a PR disaster for the last 10 years. They are, like you say, it's been cloak and mirrors, and it's like it's been
smoke and daggers. What do you
smoke
call it?
and daggers. There's the villages burning, but with the pitchforks and the flames, wanting to burn the place down and absolutely tear them apart. And that's what it's been like the last 10 years.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying, Bilal, and I totally agree. There's something, if you open the cabin right now, there's something to eat. There's something to see. Before you open the cabin, there was nothing. There was scrumps, right? And I agree. And I fucking applaud that, to be honest, right? And yeah, I mean, I go to the poll right now to see what you guys are saying. 51% says no, Glazer needs to go, right? And 49% say, yeah, I want to know more. I'm in the camp to say that I want to fucking know more, right? I can accept what you're saying. Like, so far it's been like snippets from the media. What's going on with the, are we going to build a new training ground? Are we going to build the latest and greatest stadium? Where is this money coming from? Who's going to invest in that? You know what I mean? It's going to be sponsorship.
If you look at the SEC filing from yesterday, I don't know whether you guys have seen it.
I haven't seen it.
He's got 4 billion liquid cash in the bank.
I know. I saw that.
Liquid cash. Like,
I read that.
He could write a check right now for 4 billion and it'll cash.
That's his personal fundings.
Yeah, that's his personal fucking funding. That's a fucking lot of money to have.
It is.
I was reading on one of the guys on Twitter was saying normally somebody of that kind of wealth will have about 200 to 300 mil liquid cash. 4 billion liquid cash is what he's holding on to. Then that doesn't take into account what Ineos have and what Trawlers have and what his other companies have.
Again, hold that thought. Listen, this is a debate. Liquid cash, it's what you hold in stocks, gold. It's not really what you have in your bank account, is it? Or
no, it is. It's what he's got in the bank. It's because he's have to disclose it.
4 billion in which bank account?
Yeah, he's got 4 billion. It's on the
in a Swiss one. Is it in a Swiss one?
No, I don't know. If it's Swiss.
Offshore in the Cayman Islands.
The reason it got extended in the US was because the shareholders asked for how much wealth does he have, and he had to disclose how much he had in the bank.
Oh shit! Nowhere to hide. Where's your bank account?
Yeah, and that's him. There was a few jaw dropping there. Guys,
but wait, then stop there. Why? So, was this more of a saving liquid cash for him to go in on 25%? Because we originally saw 69%.
I think, Mick, what it was, just to kind of keep this simple, is the constitution of Manchester United as a PLC, the way it's made up is very technical. So, hence why when he proposed this at 51 or whatever it was, he thought he could only buy the Glazers out and not really worry about the shareholders. When they went to legally, and there was a big, I think from the summer transfer window right until September, it was really quiet. They were trying to figure out how to do this deal without it being held up legally. So what they've done is he's had to pay the same amount to the shareholders as he's paying the Glazers, even though the shareholders' shares are worth less. But what he's managed to do in that period is change the constitution. So with that now, I'm pretty sure he can now buy up more shares without having to buy more Glazer shares without having to worry about the shareholders on the stock market.
But if I ask you a continuous question on that, why do you think he went in with Trawlers instead of Ineos? And why is media using Ineos in the headlines? Because it's actually not Ineos.
It's not, no. I personally think it's because Ineos, as a company, have investors. It would be hard to justify where the money was going and why it was going into a club like Manchester United. I think what they will do is let's say he's going to own about 29% by the end of the year. That's what it works out to be. There's no reason why Ineos as a company cannot buy the next 20% or loan him. I think it's been done from a legal framework point of view.
Yes, from a legal perspective and from a practical operational perspective, what we touched based earlier to say that Ineos is the legal custodian of Nice. And Nice and Manchester United, if they both get Champions League, there's a conflict of interest there, right? So
at the moment there is, yeah.
At the moment it is, yes. So what about, what share price did they actually buy it? Is it been disclosed?
I
Is
think
it $33?
33 or 34,
okay,
somewhere around there, yeah.
Okay, so to continue to buy out the Class B shares, that means that he has, what do you mean, $33 per share, or will it go up? Minimum.
In the agreement, let's say if United got relegated this season, right, and the Glazers want to sell, he still has to pay a minimum of $33. So the Glazers are win-win here. If United go up in value, it'll go to whatever. But from what, when I looked at a business research piece on this, if everything stays the same and they slowly progress, they'll end up selling at $34-$35 a share.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. That's the answer I was looking for. So it means within, let's say, 2-3 years, he can gradually buy out Class B shares for $33 per share.
Minimum,
gradually.
Yeah. So if you, I forgot their sister's name, who's one of the high shareholders, the Glazers. Darcy. If she wants to sell, she can sell to him direct. He's got first refusal as well. So, for example, if Sheikh Jassim came next year and said, "I want to buy 100% of the club," Jim Ratcliffe's in a winning situation, because firstly, he's got first refusal. Secondly, he doesn't need to buy 100% of the club. He only needs to buy 70% of the club because he already owns 30% of it.
So what's the full path to ownership is what I'm trying to get here. Is that gradually you will buy, let's say this is the first installment. Let's say I give you 1.3, 1.4, and I get 25%, right? On Trawlers Limited. But then I have a clause in the contract to say first refusal on $33 per share. So from a business perspective, within 3 years, he can continue invest in buying B shares.
There's a thing, in the last podcast I mentioned, there's a thing called debt to equity as well. Just to keep it really simple, let's say he pays for a new stadium, right? A lot of people will say, well, why the fuck is he going to pay for a stadium? He doesn't own the club, right? Let's say the new stadium costs $2 billion. He could do a debt to equity where that $2 billion that he pays for the stadium can convert into shares and ownership. Or there's a balloon payment coming up next year of 150 million that United need to pay back on loans. If he pays that 150 million, it converts to shares of B shares.
Fair play. Yeah, it's fair play. I do understand. It's making a little bit clearer.
Look, I'm not a support. I'm just saying the proof's going to be in the pudding, right? At the moment, we don't know. The proof will be in the pudding. It looks great at the moment that he's got, anything could happen. He could fucking buy it out in a keep it as it is.
What's the past point where he has to, if he can control, is it 51%?
Yeah, 51%. He's at 30. He'll be at 29. He only needs another 20%.
So if Darcy sells, he'll go past 29, or he'll get that.
No, if Darcy sells, he'll go up to about like 40, 45.
So it means that he can actually lobby Darcy. He can lobby any one of the, Glazer family to say, I want to buy your shares, right?
I covered this on my own podcast for a year, and I did a show on this a week. And my honest opinion is 4 of them will sell and 2 will stay. The 2, Avram and I forgot his brother's name.
Know.
Joel will stay in some sort of capacity, whether that's a minority, they just have a share, they just turn up now and then. The others will sell out. I think that's what will happen. And I think what they were banking on was that the value will go up, and that's what they are banking on.
Yeah, the last two remaining gimps are waiting on this mega deal regarding that the Champions League or TV revenue that's coming in 2026.
That's right.
The Champions League
or
revenue
World Cup as well
on
the horizon. That's what they're hanging around for.
No, the Super League is kind of dead. I would say that the new format of Champions League, playing in like one pot of 34, 36 teams in one league.
Andy, just to come to Andy's point, the thing is, Andy, what you got to keep in mind is they've got balloon payments coming up, so they need to pay like 300 million in the next 24 months back to the banks. They have to make that payment.
They do have to.
That 300 million they don't have. Somebody's going to have to pay it, which will be him. It'll convert again. I think I'll send it to Andy on Twitter. Someone's done a breakdown of the clauses in there and how he can trigger the clause. It's very technical. It's very in depth on how he can get to 51%. It works in favor of both of them. So it works in favor of the Glazer family that they can walk out with a little bit more money. And there's an option for Jim Ratcliffe to become a major shareholder. The reason Ratcliffe could not say legally that, guys, by 2025, I'm going to be the majority owner is because it's a PLC, and that will then cause
100%.
the market to
100%.
manipulate. Then they said they're manipulating.
Privately, he knows he's going to get control eventually.
No, Andy,
it's the way the language has been written.
Yeah. No, Bilal, what you're saying here is because you can't do stock manipulation because the stock market reacts on information. If it goes out to say with statement, within 2025, I'll be the majority shareholder of Manchester United PLC, and boom, the share prices go up to 30 all of a sudden, right?
Yeah, absolutely. These guys that have got shares, they were worth like fucking $11 about a year ago. They're cashing out at $33. So if he says in 2025, I'm going to buy out another 30% of the club, and and all the shareholders then say, right, we want a piece of the action, people will start buying up shares thinking, fucking hell, they're $20 right now. In a year, they're going to be worth $38.
I'm interested to understand.
That. It's called fucking insider trading.
Yeah. Listen. As we're speaking, guys, I'm very interested to see the share price. Manchester United. What is the current share price at the moment after this?
I don't know. I think it was at 18.20 roundabout there. It won't be more.
No,
than
after this Premier League statement, right?
I know Jay Mott from the paddock. He's got
big up, Jay.
Manchester United. He's even openly talked about it. A $20 share.
$20.
Oh, listen, guys, it's jumped up to 21.34.
Yeah,
boom.
But what I mean is, if me, you, and Andy bought shares right now at $20, right, and in a year we know we're gonna cash out at $38, $34 guaranteed.
That's a profit.
So it's gonna. That's why he publicly cannot say, "I'm gonna be buying the club in a year's time."
Righty. Yeah.
Insider trading, he can't say that. But if you look at the language, he's got first refusal. There's a minimum price set that he can buy at. Debt to equity. It points in one direction. But what I'm overall saying is the fucking proof will be in the pudding. Right?
Until it's eaten. And I can read Jolly Malmini saying it was 1977 last night, not the year 1977. That's a good year, by the way, right? Were you born 1977, Andy?
No, Elvis died in 77. We stopped Liverpool winning the treble in 77.
Oh, yeah.
I was born in
got
74.
one for the money.
Yeah, we're relegated.
Fuck you, hell.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. At the end of the day, yesterday, the share price was 19.77. And now with this news, it's gone up to 21.33, and it continues to rise. So you see how the stock market is kind of reacting on.
Do you know what it is? It's a fucking complicated deal because somebody owns this bit, somebody owns that bit, the PLC owns this bit. It's just really complicated. Hence why they've had to do it in a way. Look, if somebody would have come along and said, there's $7 billion, cash, liquid, off you go, they would have sold. You know what? I remember, just coming back to the original point, when the papers were saying they want 10 billion, they want 11 billion, the SEC filing shows they only fucking wanted 6.5, 7 billion. So all that was
Glazers.
Yeah, it was in the SEC. They wanted $34, $35 a share. They were saying to Sheikh Jassim, you give us $35 a share and it's yours. If you remember when David Ornstein broke that they're chasing Al Khalifi to say fucking speak to your boys in Qatar to up the price. That's what the issue was. They were saying to Sheikh Jassim, go to $35 a share and it's yours. Fucking have it. The problem with Sheikh Jassim was he was giving $35 to the Glazers and he was giving $24 to the shareholders, which would have become a legal problem. Hence why they couldn't get the deal over the line.
But according to Cayman Island laws, where Manchester United PLC is registered, you have to offer same price for Class A and Class B. So how could they not know this?
And that's why Qatar then got stuck, because they were saying, all right, we'll give you $35 a share, but we're not paying $35 a share for fucking shares that don't have the same value as the Glazers shares. So then they couldn't get to 7 billion. And that's how Ratcliffe has then worked out a fucking way of thinking, I'll come in lower. I'll probably lose fucking a couple of $100 million to the A shareholders. But if I can amend the constitution, and then
where do you think the truth lies in? Where do you think the truth lies in? If you look at on the 11th of January, it came out from the Sheikh Jassim seeks legal advice against Glazers after misleading funds claim. This was 19th of January.
I think
where is it? It's.
I think that
just according to SEC filing.
The thing is, he was using a bank in Qatar And according to the New York Stock Exchange rules, you couldn't use that bank. You had to use an American lender as a guarantor, which he didn't do. Right? So no one's in the right and no one's in the wrong. It's just the way it came across. So if I go and get a mortgage and my proof of funds are Andy, but they go, you can't use Andy, you need to use fucking another bank. And I say, no, I'm using Andy as my fucking guarantor. They go, you can't use Andy, you need to use... And
so there was a mistake. There was a mistake. That should have transferred over to Bank of America or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And he had the Bank of America as an advisor. He should have known this.
Shabazz.
Exactly. So the thing with Qatar was, I think they had a limit and they worked to their limit. The problem with Qatar was this. They cornered themselves from the start by saying we want 100% of the club. They should have left flexibility in the deal. They have done deals in the past with other companies where they've bought stakes in it over time. Because they cornered themselves by saying it's 100% or nothing, Ratcliffe used that in his favor by saying, yeah, we can go to 69, 51. Yeah, if you want to stay, you can stay, but we want XYZ. He had a lot of flexibility in the deal.
When you say cornered, that means that they went all in,
Yeah.
You never disclose if you have an ace in your sleeve when you're playing poker, and you never show your cards open. But when the mistake, what you're trying to say here is they went out with a full statement to say we are the only ones that are buying 100%. Yeah. And they were used as a leverage in terms of the negotiations. We know that you want to buy us. So that's what we saw over and over again. Like, we're not going to overpay. We're not going to overpay. We're not going to overpay. Right. And the shadow bidding process was designed to say that you're not allowed to see what Ratcliffe is bidding, right? Yeah, so, but in a way, they backed themselves in the corner to say, like, yeah, we got the highest evaluation, but we don't really know what the other person is saying. But we don't want to be like mugs. We don't want to overpay because we know the club is not worth more than $4 billion. Right?
But the tender process shows that they told him, give us $35 a share and you can have it.
All right.
So he's then saying, I'll give you $35 a share, but I'm not giving the Class A shareholders $35 a share. I'm only giving the shares are not worth as much. What I'm saying is, when he initially made that statement of saying it's 100%, it's going to be debt-free, it sounds great to us fans, but the problem is there was no flexibility in the deal because the other guy that you're competing with is saying, you know what, guys, you don't really need that much money. Well, let's do it in stages. We'll help grow it. We'll buy you off a little bit more. There was a lot of flexibility in his deal. And that was the key.
Yeah. This might go down to the story of the century in any takeover or any mergers and acquisition. If everything comes out like, right now it's a little bit murky water, a little bit gray zone. It's what you're saying. But hey, what if that comes down to a story that you could have 100% of Manchester United, but you fucked up by offering $1 less for Class A shareholders and you're not flexible, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if you remember, Mick, they kept saying that we've got $2 billion for infrastructure and this and that. That was then going to be promised by the Qatari royal family if they could get the club. They only had a set amount of money which they could go to, which is fine. Look, they couldn't do the deal. These things happen. But the thing is, they should have left flexibility. They shouldn't have gone in. And once they realize that these guys don't want to leave, so the two of them do not want to leave, right? How can we make this deal happen?
Andy, it's like you're going into a boxing ring, right? There's 12 rounds, but you don't go full all in the first round to gas yourself out, right?
Yeah, they're gassed. And look, it could happen in the future. There's other Arabs, out there who are huge United fans.
Still, there's still an opportunity to rectify because what they did now, they left the door open within 18 months to say anyone can come in to buy over $33 per share.
Correct.
You got to think about that one.
Jim out, and Jim's got no say in it, have they?
No, because at the end of the day, both Ratcliffe then and the Glazers potentially get the money's worth, the return on investment.
Oh yeah, they get the money back.
You get the money back because now you set a precedent. Okay, we know whoever wants to buy the rest of a Class B and Class A share has to bid over $33 per share, right? That means that, yeah, you might come in and bid 40.
No one's bidding that now. I can't see anybody doing it in a year.
The current financial situation, no.
Not the way the world is at the moment, no.
Yeah, it's true.
And the thing is, also, if somebody bids, let's say Andy goes in and bids $34 a share, they have to disclose that then saying, look, Andy's bid $34 a share, do you want to match it? So he's in a win-win situation. He can't be shadow bidded because he knows what the bids are.
Yeah. Again, people, we do apologize. We don't see the chat room, the VR room. I know there's a lot of emotions flying around. Please be nice to each other. I know we have different opinions. We did expect the full ownership, but you know, is what Bilal. We got to have a mature conversation to say the proof will be in the pudding until it's eaten. You know, at this moment, this is what we know, right? We're not the news. We don't make the news. We just react on it, right? And everyone reacting differently, right? And I agree with Andy, like, you know, just sometimes switch off social media, don't listen to what everyone is saying, just form your own opinion, right? It's football, it's the club
and
that
I think
love.
What we should do as fans as well is just get behind them, give them time. They will make mistakes. There's no quick fix here, right? We've been at it for 10 years. We spent over £1 billion and we fucking shitter than when we started.
Yeah,
I think sorry, go on, Andy.
I don't think Ineos will want to burn bridges with United fans.
No,
not at all. And if they do make a mistake in the future, and they see the backlash from the fans, they'll backtrack on it.
Yeah.
Because I do remember, was it a couple of years ago with Liverpool fans wanted to charge fans £77 a ticket for a match going chick.
That's ridiculous,
ticket.
Man.
In 24 hours, it was all they back down and it's ain't happening. So I think Ineos will want to go that way, more communication with the fans. But like I say, they will not communicate with us fans. It'll be fans.
I read something. I mean, I want to say Waskhan. I can see you guys. One of our members here, like I can see from the external chat. We love each other for a club. You know, we are a global fan base. We United love each other for a club, and that's what it is. You know what? You know what the fucking proof in the pudding would be, guys? To see us lift a fucking Premier League trophy.
Yeah, that would, or the Champions League, that would unite everybody, and that everybody's united, but you still get people moaning. It's true. It's human nature. So if we've won the Premier League, you know, or we won the Champions League, we would still be critical of the X, Y, and Z. Yeah. It's human nature. No matter what we do now, even if we win the Champions League within the next 2-3 years or the Premier League, this fan base will never be united because it's been so. It's like a gas pipe in the sea. It's been blown up. It's fragmented. All it takes is a spark from an individual, a saying, a tweet, a social media report, a performance on the pitch, even, and it all goes off again.
True Bills was what Khan is saying. 51 likes. What Lillis is saying, guys. We don't see you guys if you do super chat or anything like that. Currently, the poll is running, and I'm going to close the poll as well because the question what we started the streaming as a fan, do you accept this deal? 50%, it's 50-50 still saying yes, I want to know more. 50, no, Glazers need to go. I think that is, you know, the truth is in the middle, guys. I think the truth is in the middle. Guys, there's so much information to be taken in. Let's just be cool and composed, guys. You know, we want to have, we're playing football. We're doing good on the pitch, right? We won 3 in bounds, and I can just say, guys, keep going what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Get us into top 5, top 4. Potentially will give us a Champions League spot, right? Because that's where we belong. But the question is, Andy, to get to Champions League, you got to be able to compete. And the new format ain't going to be like 8 group stages anymore. There's going to be chances after chances. It's going to be like, how many millions is going to be available? I think it was, Bilal, do you know the figure?
No,
it was like 400, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, how many shots? If you lose, you could lose 3 games and still win the next 5 and go through.
Yeah.
8 games. So, you know, you lose 4, you win 3. Or is it your best performance? If you've got the best disciplinary record, you go 3 as a buy. I don't know how it's going to work out. It's all about extra revenue.
You know what? I forgot this 5 steps of depression. If you remember that 5 steps, like, you know, the first one is grievance. The second one is what it was, anger, and the third one was
denial.
There was, and at the end of the day, the fifth step was acceptance. I can't remember all the 5 steps. You know what I mean? But it comes down to the fifth step, and that is acceptance. You know, and at the end of the day, like, you know, as a realist that I am, like, no matter what, it's been 18 months spinning us dizzy. I'm not 100% happy. You know, I want to see if that pudding is tasty at the end of the day. But I got to be a realist to say, I got to accept this, right? But I'm not going to accept that the Glazers are still here.
You know, one positive that's come out of this, which has kind of gone under the radar, is the Glazers will never, ever be in charge of footballing decisions ever again. And people have kind of missed that bit. They'll never be in charge of footballing decisions ever again, whether it's sold again in 18 months or Ratcliffe says the Glazers will not be in charge of footballing decisions.
Yeah, but Bilal, at the end of the day, this is what we fans want to hear. What is your plan to fizz out the Glazers? If you are a boyhood Manchester United fan, which you're saying you are, kudos for you for rocking up to show your respect for the 1958 Busby Babes on the Memorial Day. Nobody, no single Glazer has ever done that, right? But if you read the room and you understand the global fan base, you should have a plan, right?
Yeah, but he can't come out and say these guys are fucking pricks and I'm going to fuck them up in a year. You know, he has to work with them as well.
Privately, within his family or his inner circle, they've like, you know, yeah, these are a set of fucking pricks.
Privately as well, like, you know, they came in. This is currently what I heard from the grapevine. Privately, when they came in and did the audit, when Dodgy Dave came in here, you know, with Sir Jim, they came out, what the fuck happened here? Who threw in the hand grenade and pulled the pin? Because it's been a fucking shambles, right?
He rattled Arnold in the...
He did, meeting. Right? And at the end of the day, like, you know, I think that Murta will be going. All these jobs for boys will be going. We're going to see a professional football club, and that's what I want to see, you know? But privately, I think they're sitting there talking, what the hell? You know, what the hell have you been doing?
Yeah, and look, the guy's self-made. He's a serious business operator. This guy's no fucking, you know, Todd Bowley type fucking guy. He knows what he's doing. I was watching his interview. If anybody gets a chance, Ineos have got a YouTube channel, and he did an interview March last year when this bidding process was going on. But the interview was about Ineos as a whole, and they asked him a question about Manchester United in that piece. And he's on about how you can't fail with like Manchester United and his passion for it. So he's got some sort of idea. It's not going to be, but like I said, we're going to have to be very patient and let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Let him do his magic trick. But one thing is for sure, guys, let me put this straight. It ain't fucking Ineos. Stop using Ineos. It's not Ineos that's having 25%.
I do see Ineos being a shirt sponsor at some point.
But you know what I'm saying, Andy? It's Trawlers Limited. It's Sir Jim Ratcliffe. It's not Ineos. Why are they using Ineos? It's because it's free sponsorship, free PR for the mother company, right? Eventually, Bilal, what you're saying, he might include his buddies from the Ineos camp.
Yeah, I saw an interview with Toto Wolff from F1 Mercedes that works with these guys, and he was like, I was reading in between the lines. He was like, yeah, you know, there could be a collaboration between Mercedes and Man United. And look, I'm not bothered who he fucking puts on the sponsor, as long as fans, we can see progression going forward, right? Whether that's stadium, whether that's fucking training ground, whether that's performance. And as long as his heart is in the right place and he means well, look, he is going to make mistakes. And we can see progression, and he has clear communication. So from the point he gets in, we get clear communication, and then we've just got to get behind him.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, I agree. I see Garnacho or Ramos getting out of an F1 car, taking the helmet off, and you see it's them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And there we have it. Listen, I managed to pull the 5 different stages of depression. Arguably to say, United fans have been depressed. We've been in a dark hole. We've been stuck in quicksand. But scientifically, there's a scientific to say there's 5 stages of depression, guys. And I think we are coming to the acceptance, right? The first one is denial, right? Delusional denial. Second one is anger. We've been through that, right?
Yep.
And the third one is bargaining. We are bargaining with each other. Who is the right signing? Who is the right director of football? Ollie in, Ollie out. Ten Hag in. Get the shiny toy in. We will be fixed again. And then reality hits you. The Glazers still here. Depression. We ain't winning trophies, right? But what we see here is we've been throwing a lifeline at the end of the day, right? It's what we said. At least we understand that the Glazers will no longer be in charge of any footballing operations. Is what I say. The proof will be in the pudding. And all I want to see is win fucking trophies again as a fan. So that comes a little bit of an acceptance from my side, right? If there is a clear path for full ownership, I'm behind it.
Absolutely. That's the only way. 29% doesn't work. You know, if it stays like this, it's just fucking shit. It needs to be a full path to ownership. I'm just reading there now by Alex Crook that United are stepping up their pursuit of Dan Ashworth from Newcastle.
Yeah,
so obviously things are going to start moving now by next week. So let's see what this.
But does he want to leave Newcastle? I spoke to John Sinclair the other day. He said, "No, there's no way." I mean, John Sinclair from big up John if you're watching from John Sinclair Fan TV Newcastle channel. Dan Ashworth is a hard one to get. He's a hard one.
I read in the Athletic from one of their Newcastle correspondents saying that he hasn't got enough. From the job he thought he was taking, it's not the same job. He still has to run everything through PIF, even the smaller stuff, which he wasn't very happy with.
Listen, I can see. Hang on a second. We're going to finish on a very positive note. And we're going to finish on a positive note, and we're going to do this right here, right now. Oh my God, where are you?
Oh my God! Oh my
God! We have a beautiful Angie, our moderator. You are a legend, Angie. You're always there. You never stop giving. Angie just gifted 20 membership. Welcome to the family, guys. I cannot show it on the screen. We have technical issues with StreamYard, but I can see that who was gifted was Twalumba Piri was gifted a membership. Jigsman85 was gifted a membership as well. Sorry if I'm slaughtering your names. A little bit word blind, operating in the dark. Kenny Mooney was gifted a membership. Sibusu and Louview. I didn't say I love you, but Sibusu Andy Lovu. Andy Slate, not Andy Tate. Andy Slate, almost the same as Andy Tate, was gifted a membership. Ronak Joshi was gifted a membership as well. Matty R, Treble Wade, big up to you. Coyote was also gifted a membership. Chicks can't have dicks. Oh my God, did I say that? What a YouTube name. Sorry. Raj Chintran was also gifted a membership. Karim Quadri was gifted a membership. Merks. Jason. Listen, this big up Angie. Thank you. Thank Angie in the chat. You're a legend for 20 memberships. Big up to you, Angie, as well. Along Schlong. I can see you there. What a names. Guys, did I say that beautiful name?
Yeah. I believe me, I've listened to podcasts and I've heard some worse names. And when you're listening to it on a night shift, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
When people get shout outs as the sponsors, you know, it's funny.
100%. I see Jason Wolf was also gifted. And who else? Edward Spiteri was gifted here as well. Gary 100 was gifted. Oh my God, so many of you. And who else? Natty, oh my God, guys, at the end of the day, thank you for tuning in, guys. Thank you, Angie, for gifting the memberships. It's been a pleasure. And at the end of the day, as what we said, we have gone through 5 stages of depression, and the last stage is acceptance, right? Any final words from you, Bilal? Thank you for coming in.
No. Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be with you guys, and let's look forward rather than backwards.
Yeah. Andy, any final words from you? I hope to see you tomorrow, by the way, Wednesday. Would you confirm later with me?
Yeah, I will confirm either tonight or tomorrow, mate. Yeah, I'll just got things to do. I'm going to go watch some local football tonight.
Oh, wicked.
Some amateur football up the road from me. So I'm going to have to get something to eat and get out the place for 7 o'clock because it kicks off 7:45.
Yeah, speaking about kickoff, like how's Steve Housen, man? Seriously.
He's okay. He's a good lad.
Right.
He can look after himself, man. You know he can.
Oh, we what a combination! I must say, like I'm impressed.
Yeah. He can look after himself, Stevie boy, man.
Yeah, you could.
He can mix it with the best.
Yeah, Bilal, again, what a pleasure to have you back on.
Thank you.
Been having some free podcasts. Can you tell people, go and check Bilal out on Twitter. Where can people find you, Bilal, as well?
Twitter, YouTube, Full-Time Reds. Drop me a follow. We cover all things Manchester United, weekly podcast, and we go on other shows as well. But yeah, give us a follow, Full-Time Reds.
Yeah, give him a follow, give him a like. Brilliant guy. Thank you so much. Andy Tate, you can find him. Where can you Andy Tate? You're everywhere, man.
You can find me on here, MU Realist TV. You can find me on Stretford Paddock, Man United Agenda, Side TV. I drift like the wind. I come in, I drift in, drift out. I'll do it. It's at my own leisure, and I'll do it. When I want to do it, I'll do it. And when I don't, I don't.
You know what? Andy is like a freelancer hitman, like he's a contractor.
You know what? Yeah. Pay me the right money and I'll stay in the right place. So
anyway, guys, please, guys, thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. As a fan base, we had this serious conversation, balanced approach. If you watch this in retrospective, don't forget to hit that like button, get it up to 100 likes. Subscribe if you haven't, hit that notification button, and please make sure you follow this beautiful gentleman. But still, it's glory, glory, Manchester United. We're playing Luton on the weekend, and I'm worried. I'm worried because Luton, they do have the shooting boots on. Guys, what do you reckon? Will we get over the line over the Luton?
I think we will, but like you say, Luton, they shocked everybody with that performance at Newcastle. They really did well. And last week, something against Sheffield United, I didn't expect Sheffield United to win that. I'm being honest. Some dodgy decisions, but Luton give us a game when we struggled at Old Trafford. So I think it'll be more of the same again.
Yeah, hopefully we get a win because 18 years Glazers has been looting us. Bad joke. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. See you later. Peace, love, and bananas. Glazers out. Don't forget, Glazers out. Glazers out. It's been Mick Ruby here, having my say. Hopefully, I made you a better day. Bilal, thank you for coming in. And Andy Tate, hope to see you tomorrow. Until then, guys, stay beautiful. Love each other on the social. And do not let these headlines get into your mind. Always use your common sense and reasoning. That's all, folk. See you guys. Ciao.
That's all, folks.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUS. Thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe. MUS TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.